In this film I'm going to be talking about how the ancillary task, the film review and also the poster, works effectively with the main task to create a strong final product. This final product is essentially a complete marketing package which could potentially be used to market, distribute and profit off of the short film that we have created. The first of the two secondary tasks that I'm going to be talking about is the film poster. The audience that we were targeting with our short film is both males and females between the ages of 18 and 35. Thus, the target audience of our poster is also the same. We primarily tried to target the audience through using similar genre conventions in our poster as we used in our film. For the amount of these we could achieve was limited because of the limitations making a poster faces as opposed to medium of video. One of the elements of the poster that I focused on was the imagery. In the poster I included a heavily distorted image of the antagonist of our film. I split the image into its 3 different layers of colour, which are cyan, yellow and magenta, and I moved each layer of colour so they were all slightly off centre. I then distorted this image further through smudging the edges. I think the distorted effect that I created is very effective at conveying the genre conventions that I wanted to when I started making the poster. The font that I used when creating the poster is very reminiscent of the font seen at the start of Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. I thought this was appropriate for the poster, simply because it seemed to fit well when I first used it. I used a plain white colour for the font because it's the most readable colour on the black background that I was using. Apart from the array of colour that's visible in the imagery of the poster, I chose to use a simple black and white colour throughout the poster. I chose to use simple colours because I wanted to include a lot of information and content on the poster without making it seem overcrowded. When I experimented with other colours in the poster, it looked a lot more cluttered and unorderly, so I changed the way it looked to how it looks now. I also included relevant awards for British independent short films on the poster. I made sure that these awards were relevant because otherwise it would make little to no sense in the context of our film. I decided that the location that the poster was set was unimportant for the effect that I was trying to achieve. This is because I wanted to isolate the antagonist from the backdrop. The place I really wanted to set the poster was inside the protagonist's mind, and this is the best way that I could find to represent that. All of these elements that I have discussed are constructs of the psychological thriller genre, and I used them as effectively as I could in order to make the poster work well in combination with the main task. Beyond working well in combination with a short film, I also wanted the poster to be attractive and to work well when marketing the film, and I feel as though I have achieved that. In marketing my film, I would spread my poster through social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. I would also try and inform people on its existence through simple old-fashioned word of mouth. The Little White Lies magazine film review that I've written for our film is primarily targeted at the normal target demographic for the Little White Lies magazine, which is both males and females between the ages of 26 and 35. Though not exactly the audience we were targeting with our film, it's very similar, and this means that the review is more easily effective at marketing the film towards our audience. The Little White Lies magazine communicates with its target audience through 2 different ways. The first of these ways. The first way the Little White Lies magazine communicates with its audience is through the language and media language that's used in it. It uses a lot of media language and more mature language which is appropriate for the audience that it's targeting. The layout of a review also heavily contributes towards the demographic that it's targeting. All of the articles on the Little White Lies magazine are set out in the same way, with the same elements being the exact same places. This creates a level of conformity and professionalism that isn't seen in any other movie review magazine articles. One of the features of the layout that allows it to effectively target the young adult demographic is the 3 number-based rating system, giving each film that's reviewed 3 scores. The first of these scores is the anticipation, the second is the enjoyment, and the third is the film in retrospect. This system allows the film review to be summarised at a very quick glance, allowing people to understand the review at its core no matter how busy they are as a working young adult or film student. The magazine uses very professional fonts such as Algerian for the main body of text and Century Gothic for specific titles. All of the fonts used in the magazine are sans serif to maintain simplicity throughout all of the articles. The final thing that I'm going to talk about is the use of film festivals to potentially market our short film. There are many local and global short film festivals that we could potentially use in order to market and spread the word of our film. I decided during the production of our film that if I were to market our short film through short film festivals, I would submit it to Wimbledon International Short Film Festival, ADIFF, and Ann Arbor Film Festival. When a short film is viewed at a film festival, it not only gets immediate advertising and publicity through the fact that people see it, but since it also has the chance to win awards, it is likely to get publicity far beyond the word of mouth provided by the show. That's my media question too. Thank you for listening.